What is up, my dashing dudes? I am the Hans TV, and yesterday we brought you some no sleep, so today I thought to counteract that, we'd be bringing you some r/stories about Kevin. Our first Kevin for the day comes from Darth Curse 3131. Kevin starts working for a reptile rescue center. I work for a reptile and amphibians rescue center. The job is guiding people for a 2-hour visit of the center, cleaning the cages, giving food and water to the animals, and giving the adequate treatments to the sick animals. About 2 months ago, Kevin started working for us. I showed him the job the first week, which consisted of cleaning the cages and changing the dirty water bowls. The first week, Kevin started showing signs of lack of intelligence. He would only pick up the dried poops in the reptiles' enclosures, stating that they were less smelly and didn't smudge in his hands. I told him that paper towels were designed to pick the poop, not bare hands. Another thing he did was forget the code to the employee's room. The code was 1111. Not pressing OK, no key, just 1111 and open the door. After a month, the owner decided to make him feed the reptiles. For those that don't know, snakes eat approximately once per 2 weeks when fed a fairly big meal. The lizards will eat 3 to 4 times a week. There are post-its everywhere, on every cage stating when the animal has to eat next. Well, Kevin would ignore those post-its, stating that no animal can skip days without eating. He would then try to feed the animals 2 to 3 times per day. This resulted in a few geckos regurgitating because they had eaten too much. Fortunately though, the snakes were fine. Here's a list of other things this Kevin did while working for us. He once hit a turtle's shell with a metal pipe he'd found inside, thinking the turtle wouldn't feel it. He regularly put salad in carnivores' enclosures because he thought they would still eat it. Most of the time, we saw it and took it out, but once he managed to hide it under the substrate and the salad rotted there. Kevin was afraid of the big snakes, boa constrictor mainly, and would wear rubber boots thinking the shiny reflection of the boots would scare them. What? Needless to say, he was fired not so long ago. I feel like he should have been arrested for animal abuse after hitting the turtle with the pipe. But that's just me. Our next post comes from Quilt Rebel, and it's called Easy A. When I was in high school, some of the jocks decided that home ec would be an easy A. One of the jocks was an absolute Kevin. So the home ec class is learning how to use sewing machines. Kevin is sewing merrily away, with his thumb sticking out perpendicular to his left hand, putting it on trajectory toward the needle. Not surprisingly, he runs his thumb through the feed dogs and punctures it several times. He calls out to the teacher for help. She comes over and asks him, "What did you do?" Kevin replies, "I did this," and proceeds to repeat his action, including going through the feed dogs and getting additional puncture wounds to his thumb. We never should have stopped natural selection. I am convinced of that now. Our next Kevin comes from Zelda Spell Factory. My brother, the Kevin. My brother has issues. He isn't always the smartest knife in the book. This story is from quite a few years ago. Bro hates rap music. He is really into music, but never rap. He lived 2 doors down from a gas station when this event happened. Some kids were sitting outside the gas station with rap playing on their radios, about 11 p.m. on a Friday night. Sure, it wasn't something Bro enjoyed, but his reaction? He went up to the gas station to tell them off. They called the cops on him, but he couldn't figure out why. The cops arrested him because he showed up wearing a cowboy hat, a jacket, it was cold out, his gun belt, and his boots. He only wore those things. No pants. Not at all. How you remember the hat and gun, but not the pants, none of us figured out. I suspect he was drunk and or high, but mostly he's just an idiot. I'm glad you're not defending your brother's actions like some other people that I've seen on this subreddit. This next post comes from Peachy Keen. I didn't know we owned a broom. Hi, I'm new here. Figured my story is fitting. I'm a cook. I had a coworker that was dumber than a box of hair. I'd like to give people the benefit of the doubt. Everyone can make mistakes or have a bad day. To be brief, I'm the trainer. I like to demonstrate a task for trainees and then have them do it with me, supervising, and I encourage any questions. I won't do somebody else's work for them, but I'll show them as many times as they need. So we get Kevin. He already has a chip on his shoulder being trained by me. He's an expert. Yeah, I can do it. Constant brush off. He can't handle a knife. Okay, we'll work on safety before he cuts his thumb off. He still butchers everything he touches while having an overall attitude about it. It's his first day. I figure maybe he was just nervous and getting snippy about it. I show him the cleaning supplies at closing time and show him where to sweep. I said I'd do the other stuff. He tells me, "I didn't know we owned a broom." I think he's joking. Kevin isn't joking. In fact, he tells me he doesn't know how to use a broom. I briefly show him how to use the broom. He only has to sweep a small section that takes 10 minutes max. It takes Kevin an hour and 45 minutes to sweep that section. I've never encountered someone so completely incompetent in my life and yet so full of themselves. It was like seeing a unicorn. The rest of the crew couldn't believe it either. Kevin's excuse was he always had parents for that stuff. His mom always cleaned for him. Sheltered Kevin didn't last long. Bruh, how you not gonna know how to sweep? That's like the one thing everybody knows. Our final post for the day comes from Horton Here's a Homie, my cousin, the Kevin. My cousin is, and always has been, a Kevin. I have so many stories, but this is my favorite. We lived on a private drive off of a highway that had us, my cousin's family, and another family that had been there forever. It was lightly raining this day, but Kevin was supposed to be meeting my brother. It was maybe a 5-minute walk, and Kevin could easily have grabbed an umbrella. He never shows up, so the next day we call over and ask why he didn't come over. Kevin proceeds to tell us he didn't want to drown. I, of course, asks what he means. Kevin says his grandma told him that turkeys sometimes look up when it's raining and drown. He was worried that he would stare up at the rain long enough that he would let himself drown. We laughed at him for years about this. I can just imagine that conversation. "Hey man, why didn't you come over?" "My grandma said that an animal can drown because they look up to the rain. I definitely have the same anatomy as that animal." Well, alright my dashing dudes, that is going to do it for today's episode of r/Stories About Kevin. If you like the stories, I'll link them down in the description as always. And if you like the video, subscribe, drop a like, and a comment down below what you'd like to see me read next. A humongous thank you to all of my patrons and all of my subscribers out there. I really enjoy doing what I'm doing, and I like that you're loving what I'm doing. It humbles me and makes me so happy that I'm able to do this for you guys. But with that being said, I will see you in the next video.